right, well, our next question comes from another one of our users on Facebook. They have itchy skin. Now, they've said, I'm using cream, but it doesn't help with the itching. Is there any chance of curing this or coming to a solution? I imagine that could be quite annoying.
Itchiness can drive people mad, and obviously you don't scratch where it doesn't itch because that leads to other problems. Remember also that itchiness is often caused by histamine release, and histamine is a chemical substance, part of the inflammatory response that is deposited just under the skin, which leads to the itchiness and the sensitivity of those receptors in the skin that force you to lead your fingers to the spot.
Just itch.
Yeah, so very important to realize there are different things. Obviously, allergies right at the top of the list can cause itchiness. But where it's itchy and dry skin, we often associate conditions like eczema, which are associated with environmental triggers of allergy, or dietary triggers of allergy as well. Okay. Besides that, there are medical conditions that contribute towards having a dry and possibly itchy skin as well. And the most important ones being associated with hormones particularly. You can imagine in menopause, as the estrogen levels drop in ladies, for example, you do get what we call atrophic vaginitis, where you have dry, itchy skin in the sensitive parts. You also have thyroid conditions, where with the thyroid hormones being abnormal, you develop a really, really dry skin. And then, of course, there are a host of other systemic diseases that can result from you being dehydrated and associated with kidney damage or liver damage, etc. So very important to realize that dry skin could mean many different things.
So a lot of different contributors, I guess, when it comes to dry skin. If you have dry skin or it's itchy, how long should you wait before you see a doctor, and what are some kind of the things you can do at home?
Great. I think important to note, has there been a specific trigger that's out of your normal pattern of behavior, like eating nuts, shellfish, seafood, dairy, for example, even some of the preservatives that we have in crisps and Simba chips, for example. So look at that pattern and time of association. If it seems to be a chronic problem that fluctuates every now and again, then certainly maybe some blood tests are indicated, looking at an allergic profile in terms of blood testing. Often the skin lesions themselves, if they're associated patches of dryness with flaking, etc., help us to narrow the rash down to whether we think it's a dermatitis, which is an inflammatory condition of the skin, or whether it's an eczema specifically. And then, of course, looking for the systemic associations. Often, if someone has diabetes, for example, and is prone to fungal infections, they'll complain, and you'll know about the diabetes because of the manifestations of being really, really thirsty and struggling with dips in your energy levels, having the jitters a bit when your sugar drops, and then we'll find out that the patient has diabetes, test their urine, look for protein and sugar in the urine even as well, and then look for the associated complications of those diseases. And exactly the same with the thyroid that I mentioned earlier, also looking at the other symptoms of thyroid abnormalities, like heart rhythm disturbances and dry skin, etc., and then weight control issues.
Okay, so don't ignore that dry skin.
Don't. If it's a simple nutritional factor for the skin, obviously vitamin E and lanolin-based products are useful. You get a lot of preparations like Epilone E that you can put in the bath, and that also moistens the skin, especially in the winter months. So remember that the environment, the weather, the temperature and sun exposure has a major role to play when it comes to a dry skin.